morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How everybody doing? I hope you guys are having a awesome day. I'm having a really good day today. Today we got a little snow. It is really cold outside. I would say it's probably about 30 some degrees out there. It's pretty cold. Gino didn't even want to go out there. Put him out there and he was right back at the door like, no, you come out here. Good morning, Gino. You want to say good morning? You want to say good morning? You want to say good morning? Good morning. Okay, so today's conversation that we're going to talk about is, I want to go over like mental health and knowing what works for you. You know what I mean? Knowing what works for you, what works for you, what don't work for you, and just trying to be able to find the best treatment for yourself. Okay? And mental health is a topic that a lot of times people don't like to talk about, because the first thing they go, oh, mental health, and they want to do, oh, you crazy. They put that out there, you crazy. Everybody can experience some mental health challenges due to lifestyle changing or just traumatic experience or different stuff like that go on, where sometimes you do need outside help to talk to if you choose. Some people don't believe in that. Some people are like, oh no, I don't believe in that. I'm not going to go sit down and tell a person my problems. I'm not going to do that. So for me, I actually enjoy more talk therapy than medication therapy. Okay? And when I'm sharing my stories with you guys, I'm not giving nobody mental health advice, not asking nobody to change their medicine, not asking nobody to do something different. I'm just sharing my journey on mental health and what works for me. Not giving advice for nobody else to go do this, go do this, go do this. But if anybody experiencing stuff and they feel like just talking to their family or talking to this, nobody's understanding them, and you start to feel different or awkward, do I got packages coming? Hold on, guys. Okay, they put down salt. It was the ring telling me somebody was at the front door. So, but just knowing what works for you and what don't work for you. So I've discovered that one thing with me, with number one, from a little girl, like I tell y'all, I'll tell you, I'm weird sometimes. I've always been different. I've never felt like I fit into any group. I've always been an outcast. Like all the kids might do this and do that, and they click up, and they, you know what I mean? And I might get in that group and be in that group, but I'll be standoffish. I never quite felt like I fitted in to these type of groups. So I've always been different. So I never felt like I fit in and different things like that. And as a child, and I know everybody beliefs is different and stuff like that. As a child, I've always experienced things that probably other kids didn't experience. I'll see things that other kids didn't experience. So I always knew in that realm of thing that I was different. So I used to be real fearful of it, but after so long, being afraid, and I remember I was like 5, and I remember getting so terrified of the contact with a spirit, and my mom I went into a seizure, and my temperature was up, and they had to go and submerge me in cold water to drop the temperature. My mom's like, don't put my baby in that cold water. Like, if we don't put her in this cold water and bring her temperature down, she won't make it. We have to. And they was trying to figure out why was I so fearful, like what was going on. You know, the first thing they figure is like neglect. They go to investigating the mama, like what's going on with this child. And then I was old enough to advocate for myself and different things like that. So they like, okay, well maybe she needs mental help or whatever. But my mama knew it wasn't at that point mental health. You know, like no, she don't need no mental health. My baby is different. My baby sees stuff and feels stuff, you know. So from there, so growing up, I always knew that that was different about me. So later in life, just, you know, different things, anxiety and different stuff. So I started getting, now I'm fast forwarding. So I feel like a lot of therapists are designed to give you a pill. They'll send you off to their friend if they can't write it, and go to him. He'll get you something, help you sleep. So what I've learned is that when taking those type of medicines, for me, I spent most of my life sleeping. But when I wake up, that same issue, anxiety, the fears or whatever I had going on still exists. It's almost like they just paused while you go into a deep sleep. And then you wake up, and then I don't like the fact that I was sleeping for a long time, like not normal. Like, you know how you go to sleep at night and you wake up 7, 8 o'clock, 6:30 or whatever. I was sleeping so freaking long, you know what I mean? So in order to be able to function and work with the medicine they was giving me, I used to have to go to bed at 6 o'clock and sleep all the way to 6 o'clock to be able to get up and go to work and function, because it's almost like you tranked up and you got to be able to get this stuff out of your system to be able to wake up. So I always, this don't work for me, because at the end of the day, the problem is still there. So I would say took a long time for me to find a perfect therapist, the perfect therapist. Like finding a good therapist is like finding a good pair of shoes. They just fit. They fit, they're comfortable, you know what I mean? You can walk in them long term. And so finding a perfect fit, I finally found a therapist that was not on board with pop a pill, pop a pill, pop a pill. She more or less was talk therapy. And finally meeting her, I met my match. And I felt like I was able to get a lot out of this therapy session, because a lot of them sit over there and doodle and you just talking and they drawing and sketching and take a pill and everything gonna be okay, but not realizing that problem is always gonna be there, but finding a way to cope with your problems. So talk therapy, finding the right therapist, that worked for me, because me and her was able to find solutions that worked for me, because we was trying to get to the point where what I loved about her is, like, I always kind of had some anxiety and fear of being around crowds and public speaking and stuff like that. But it had got extremely worse. And what I liked about it, we was trying to get what happened to trigger your anxiety to go from moderate anxiety to severe anxiety. What happened? And it's like we couldn't figure it out. And then at first, but then after just dialogue and talking to her, then we found out that it was an incident where I almost got snatched. I almost got taken away by somebody. And I think that put up more fear of anxiety, because, you know, you just freestyle walking around, not a care in the world. So I think I've learned now to fear. You got to be aware of your surroundings. You got to. So we trigger that to that, like your anxiety, severe anxiety, and kind of fear come from the fact that you almost got abducted. That's, you know, you get what I'm saying? So this therapy was able to sit down and come with me and on a journey where we was trying to figure out what is this? So with my anxiety, the grocery store is like, oh my God, I can't do the grocery stores. I just really get like being around people. Like, what is it about the grocery store? Why are you so fearful and don't want to be around these people? So we discovered in talk therapy that instead of me getting my grocery list, going in a grocery store, getting everything that I need to get and coming out of there, I'm at the grocery store looking around. Why they looking at me? Who, you know what I mean? I'm in there on the wrong page. So with the good therapist, we discovered you focusing on the people. These people don't know you. Focus on your list, get what you need to get in a grocery store and get out. So we was finding solutions that work for me. But this therapist she wind up, when COVID happened, she wind up having a baby. And now when I look her up, she don't do the practice. You know, she's a therapist. She's like a big supervisor over other therapists. She's a really big supervisor over other therapists. But I love things about, like, even being in a relationship. And I was in a relationship with this person, and they had wind up moving to Minnesota. And after being in a relationship with this person, and people make you feel guilty. I moved down here for you, and I wanted to be with you, and now you're telling me you don't want to be with me. It's not gonna work, and da 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 da. And they crying, and you like, oh my God. So I'm going to therapy, and I'm feeling bad, and I'm feeling trapped. Like, oh well, they moved down here, so now I got to figure it out. I just got to be with them. And that therapist was like, no. That's why people get married. They get a divorce. You don't have to be with somebody if you're not happy. Y'all can find a solution that will work where y'all can separate in a respectful way. That it ain't got to be drama. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, shit, we could even live in the same house. You take a room, I take a room. Where, you know what I mean, it ain't going to be that or whatever. But that was like, no, it's this or that. You know what I mean? It's this or that. It's this or that. No, it's going to be like this. Like, no. It's not going to be like that. So that's what I loved about having the perfect therapist, because she helped me to realize that, hey, relationships, you can get in a relationship with somebody. Everybody have a right to exit. If they're no longer happy with you, even if somebody, you know what I mean, decided they weren't happy with me, I don't like it, but I respect their feelings, and I don't got to be angry at them, be mean, probably when they first tell you to hurt your feelings. But in reality, I would prefer for somebody to tell me, hey, this not working out with us. I don't want to be in a committed relationship. I don't want to do this. And later you will respect that more better. So that's what I like about talk therapy, finding the right therapist that work for you, that understand you. Then you also, in therapy, you got to be in a safe space. Because if you with a therapist that don't really know you, and you having a bad day and you venting, that day of venting in a therapist, if they feel that you a threat to somebody or whatever, you know, they can call and put a hold on you for 72 hours. You know, call, hey, she's erratic, this, that, and that, and that. So that too, if you get a therapist that don't really know you, they just there for the check, ain't really took the time out to realize that today she's having a real bad. You ever be mad like, oh, I feel like just slapping the hell out of somebody? And not meaning literally you going to do it. That's what come that freedom of speech. But once you go sit in a therapist's office, that freedom of speech will work against you. Because they going to take that as, oh, she said she's so angry. She feel like kicking everybody's butt. And then that can get you in a tricky situation. But if you have built a bond with your therapist, where your therapist understand that you're venting, none of these vents or ramps you on is going to turn into a physical action, where you can go in therapy and be safe. Because you go in these therapy rooms and you go to running off at your mouth just talking, you can land yourself in a lot of trouble. And then too, like with mental health, not having the right therapist that understands you, especially when you have a right to bear arms and you own firearms the right way, and you legally got these firearms. If you get the wrong therapist, because they always ask you these questions, you have weapons, so you got this, you got that, and you be like, yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like, you could be having a bad day, and if they just assume in the way you talking or whatever. I watched on TV that this lady, she was a general in the military, and they put on all that medicine. And I want to say a lot of that medicine give you weird thoughts. You will get on that medicine and some thoughts you ain't never freaking had. You'll be having these weird, twisted thoughts. And you're like, why the hell am I thinking like that? And then when you read the side effects of the medicine makes you think of doing, you know, like, I don't want to take that crap where I'm now, like, I'm not even a violent person. I talk crap, but my crap Just even violating somebody. If I'm mad at somebody, we arguing. I know better than to go full flesh into somebody else's space. I might go, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then me, to be honest, I'm not going to engage constantly with somebody in a negative way because that's unhealthy. Like, we can start out, but if it start getting deeper, I'm smart enough that I'm going to exit the room. I'm going to leave. I'm going, you know what I mean? Because I'm not going to put myself in a position where me and this person is going full flash, chaos with each other. I learned to exit the situation. Like, no, I'm not doing this with you. I don't want to sit here and be disrespectful. I don't want you to be we're heated. Let's leave this alone. So that's why I say, like, a lot of that debate and stuff, I will learn to exit, because I think that it can go left if you continuously somebody mad. So I try to, not always you're going to pick the best people to be around, but I try to find people that me and them can agree to disagree, but it's never going to get to the point where we full flash being all out disrespectful to one another, that I'm like, okay, this ain't working. Let me leave you alone. You leave me alone, give you some space, So I try to learn those boundaries. But the one thing that helped me through my mental health journey was me getting honest. And me being honest with people, the people that's close to me. And I ain't going to go around and tell everybody this, but I'm talking about people that I have to interact with, family, friends, people that's very close to me, so that people won't take it as, oh, she's funny acting, she don't want to do this. So I just start being honest. Hey, when people invite me to all these big gatherings and get-togethers and this, I'll be like, hey, thank you, but I don't fit in large groups. I have severe anxiety. And I feel real uncomfortable. I panic, where I get like knots in my stomach and just severely uncomfortable, like even going in a restaurant. So now I'm able to say that, like, if I'm out on a date and I get in a restaurant and the restaurant is real crowded and everybody is around and we're standing in that lobby, I'll start feeling real uncomfortable. So now the people that know me, they know that don't work for me. They're like, this too packed for you? Yeah, come on, let's go. So they respect where I'm at. And they don't put me in compromising situations where it'll flare up a lot of my anxiety and different things like that. So that's what helped my mental health tremendously, because I'm able now to live in my truth and tell people this setting don't work for me. You know what I mean? This setting don't work for me. Like, if you had somebody that been in a severe car accident, I know a girl right to this day, she don't drive because of a severe car accident. But when she's in a car with you, everything is panic. And that's PTSD, because she experienced a very traumatic experience. And now she's in a car, and she got to be in a car. But she gets a lot of anxiety, and she be, so it's like, okay. And I'll be like, hey, am I driving good enough for you? I'm slowing down. We good. So I will bring down her fears, because I know she had extreme anxiety being in a car because of a traumatic experience she had. So just knowing what works for you, being honest, finding a good therapist, like finding a great pair of shoes, and it works where your therapist, you trust your therapist, your therapist trusts you, where y'all understand each other, where if you having a bad day, where you venting, where they ain't gonna be pushing the button under the desk. Yeah, get them. She needs to be, so it's just, ever since she retired, I haven't had that, because majority of these therapists believe in medication. And I'm past medication. Medication is not going to work for me. My anxiety, my different stuff will still be there. My PTSD from a lot of trauma and different things that I experienced will still be there. Like, even like, to be honest, like when y'all just saw me jump up and look out of the window to see who was by the door, because the ring was alerting me on here that somebody's outside of the door. And it's just the maintenance crew putting down salt. A lot of fears that I have regarding home invasions, because that happened and I lost my family in a tragic home invasion. Just the typical mailman coming to the door unannounced. I have fear now. I'm so fearful of just uninvited people or people coming around. So it's like a pill is not going to take that away. Even if I took a pill today, tomorrow I'm still going to have those fears. Oh, you know, and I feel like I'm more alert now. Like, oh, who is that? Who, you know what I'm saying? Who coming? So it's like those fears and stuff I probably would never be able to get over. My anxiety, being around people, I've always had that from little. And so I realized that a lot of this stuff probably would never go away. So I find a way to cope with it, a way to understand. But medicine don't work for me. I don't want to be tranked up, sedated. I feel like the medicine they was giving me, I was sedated and I slept all the time. Okay, even though I don't sleep naturally, I take a Benadryl to go to sleep. But I don't want mental health meds to fall asleep. I don't want none of that. I want to be able to be honest, to be able to say, hey, this, that, and that. And I used to fear, oh, people going to call me crazy. People going to call me crazy. Now I don't care if people think I'm crazy or whatever, but I'm living in my truth. I'm comfortable now that I can say that. So now my neighbors, they don't invite me no more to their get together because they know Ann have extreme anxiety. She's not going to come. So they know these things about me. So it's like now I can walk around in my truth and feel comfortable with the decisions that I'm making. But I would say when you're looking for a therapist, look for a therapist that understand your needs. Just like, say, for instance, people that's Jehovah's Witness. They don't believe in blood transfusion. It's like going to a doctor and the doctor said, oh, you're going to get this blood. They don't believe in that. So I'm not the type of person that believe in the medication and believe that it's going to fix me. So why is, if you're a therapist and if you run across this video, listen to your patient. Now, if you have a patient that's delusional, bipolar, schizophrenic, or whatever, and they violent, maybe they need medication. So I'm not saying that everybody's situation is the same. But if you have a person that's speaking and talking and telling you, and you know what they're saying, and they're on the mark of medication don't work for me, then give them the talk therapy that they desire. They don't want to do the medicine. So that's the problem. It's like you get so many of these people that want to give you. I remember having real bad anxiety. And a lot of times you have anxiety, be feeling like you having a heart attack. So I remember I had to go to the hospital. I was having bad anxiety and they had to do the EKG and everything. And I told them, I said, this is anxiety. I know this. The lady said, do you want a Valium? I said, no, I don't want no Valium. But I didn't come here for that. I said, my sister was concerned about a heart attack. And I told her it's my anxiety. She the one that's bringing me here. Other than that, I wouldn't even be here. But for her to be concerned, like, no, you could be having a heart attack. I'm like, this is not no heart attack. This is anxiety. Anxiety feel just like this. So just find somebody that can understand you and your needs. Don't let them push something off on you that's gonna make their buddies money or they getting kickbacks. Find a therapist that really cares about their patient, and you can kind of tell that, you know, when you get with them or whatever. A lot of them is disconnected. They just there to, you know, for a check, and you know, so everybody's different. Some people need medication, some people don't. I'm at the point where medication does not work for me. I'm more talk therapy and, you know, being honest. So I would say my mental health improved 100% when I was able to talk to the closest people around me and let them know what's going on with me. So now everybody got to understand it. They're not like, oh, she's acting funny, she's this. Oh, she got anxiety. This don't work for her. You get what I'm saying? So it all works out. So find the situations that works for you. Find a therapist that works for you, like having on a good pair of shoes and you can walk around and be comfortable. Find a therapist that you trust. You know, if you find a therapist that you don't trust, what's the point of sitting there going to sit down where you in there, where you scared to say what's really going on with you because you do not trust your therapist? Not a good fit. And I feel like it's a waste of time. It's a waste of money because you in a room with somebody you don't trust. You're not comfortable, but you just going, you know, just getting along with the gun. Just like, it's almost like having a friend. and this person supposed to be your friend, but you severely uncomfortable with this person, but you in this fake friendship. Well, you don't even like this person, but you running around still having them in your circle. That's why I said I had a friend and we kept bumping heads and kept getting into it and I'm like, I'm going to do both of us a favor. It's obvious that you don't trust me. I don't trust you. How can we have an effective friendship when trust is number one? So I'm going to leave you alone. So we don't have to be sitting here wondering what we're going to be arguing about next. What's the next explosion? What I do now? So it's like if you in those situations where you finally bumping heads in relationships, in families, and friendships, y'all got to start letting people go because they are a trigger for you. You can love people and you can love them at a distance. Even sometimes your kids can be chaotic and put you in situations and stuff like that can be, you be like, really? You know what I'm saying? Like, really? Really? Like, seriously, like some of these kids is deeply in this gang stuff. Deeply. And they go online and they do all this stuff and be arguing with people, whatever. And then come back in their mama house. You putting your mama at risk. And these people don't care. They will hurt your mama from your foolishness. So yes, sometimes our kids is putting us at risk. Well, we got to, when you grown and you the banger, you need to go over there and let them know you don't got no connections with your mama. So they don't come over here and I'm in your shit unwillingly. So please, young people, if you want to be in there, you want to be with that, separate from your family because you putting them at risk for your shit. You know what I mean? You putting them at risk. So when you know better, you do better. But today I just wanted to talk about that, like finding the perfect therapist is finding like the right pair of shoes where you can walk around and you can be comfortable. Don't accept something that you're not comfortable with. Speak up for yourself and find the perfect solution for you. But to me, for me, and I'm not giving nobody advice not to do this now, but me, what made me get better in my mental health is me being able to be honest. Honesty is what improved my mental health tremendously. So thank y'all for listening. Y'all have a blessed day. Toodles.